What up, peaceful beings? This is your boy Bobby G. Hey man, I haven't been Guitkitting lately, man. I've been sort of caught up in doing like some acoustic projects I had sitting around the shop down here, and I started getting back into my acoustics. I just did a video of like the worst, because I had a whole bunch of carcasses down here that I've been messing with. But I put together some harmonies and some stellas and stuff like that. I'm really digging at this moment. As far as electrics are concerned, though, man, I'm totally been. Every time I pick up an electric guitar, the only guitar I'm picking up is this guy right here. It's the last video I made you of an electric guitar. This thing is a fucking solid machine, man. I love it. So I was raised on the Stratocaster. You know what I mean? That was my first electric guitar. Was an Epiphone Strat copy. Just like that with that big ass, glossy body, and this really got me in to the Stratocaster again. Something I've been missing. I haven't played it in a long time, and that's where I started, of course. You know what I mean? When it came to like parts casting, I mean that's pretty much everybody's starting point is the Stratocaster. I'm really into it now, but this thing is so heavy, man. Oh my God, bro, this thing must weigh like 35 pounds, man. It's like an abscess. This thing is like breaking your back, and I'm one of those guys that just walks around all day long just jamming on it, man, down in the basement. You know what I mean? My back's hurting. I got a little strap on it. My back's hurting me, man, but it's a solid guitar, and I'm really digging it. So, I got I've got two great loves that are sort of emerging, that are interests of mine, in the back of my mind, while I'm doing all this acoustic shit. And basically, I've really been digging on, like, the Mary Kaye guitar, man. Just because I was doing this guy recently, and I sourcing all that gold hardware, I loved it. You know what I mean? For some reason, I just, the search for screws is always like my passion, man. Finding the correct screws and everything, man. That's what I'm all about. You know what I mean? I love doing the gold thing, man. I did a couple of golds in the past, but that was really cool, man. So that Mary Kaye thing was like really, and combined with my love for the Stratocaster, and combined with the fact that I'm breaking my fucking back with this 30-pound beast. You know what I'm saying? I decided to make it like a ladies model. And I don't mean that in a sexist way, because there's some ladies that can beat my ass. I'm just saying, like, I actually made my wife a guitar one time for Christmas, and I made her like a weight relieved, like light guitar. She's like, this shit, man. You made me like a cheap model, but no. So don't judge me on what I'm about to say, man. I'm a big fan of semi-hollow body guitars as well. Like that John Lennon Rickenbacker kind of sound, because I'm a rhythm player for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So, essentially, I like the swimming pool route. Don't judge, man. I got a body here off of AliExpress for $20, like delivered. This thing weighs like a pound, man. But it's almost full size. I mean, it's 1.62 as opposed to 1.75. So it's pretty close, man. I didn't want to mess with my Eddie Wilson guitar. This is full size. I mean, but you put it with Eddie, you know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, man? It's almost the same size, same specs, man. And that swimming pool right, it's like a beautiful wood too, man, for $20. Look at that, man. It's a two-piecer, little paint. You know what I mean? You'll never even see that, really. Especially the fact that them Mary Kaye's, they're kind of done up in a natural thing. I done a natural. Just a 56 Pinecaster here. Actually got like a Les Paul scale. But I did that a couple years ago. And that's like a special, like a water-based paint made by Minwax. I was thinking of using that again on this. Then I was thinking, I just want to get it done. You know what I mean? With a nitro on there, man. Like some kind of lacquer. You know what I'm saying? I got a rattle can lacquer. And I'm going to put acrylic paint on there. And that's my thing right now. This is the neck I got, man. Because I got that big solid one-piece thing. I just sort of like went down that trail. There's another one-piece Chinese neck. Say what you will about the Chinese. This is a quality neck I got here, man. Got a little shipping damage on here, but hit it with some Mondo, man. Nobody ever know the difference, man. But it's a nice, solid, you know what I mean? It's got the, earlier 50s thing. I'm going to have to paint on the little walnut thing, but this is real straight, you know what I mean? It's got the You know what I mean? It's nice, man. I'll paint on the little truss rod cap there. Finish this guy up, probably. I'm thinking we'll finish her in True Earl. A little True Earl on there. Perfect. Feels good. Feels good neck. Feels good nitro body that's going to weigh nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put a big block. I haven't ordered it yet because, you know, it's going to be a domestic thing. I'm going to get the real gold big block vintage Fender dealio for that. So let's look at the parts here. Speaking of parts and farts, this is what I got so far. This is the import stuff that came in. Some of the domestic stuff I didn't buy yet. You know what I mean? Like string tubes. All the Fender stuff. Didn't really buy this. This I get from this Chinese guy. He's made a whole bunch of trim plates. This is $5 and it's almost like perfect 50 spec. A nice white trim plate. Got this from a mom and pop hardware store. Because you know, I like those sheet metal screws for the pickups. Look at that. This is like this is a mom and pop hardware store that's been open for like 130 years. You know, so I found these. They're brass. You know what I'm saying? Nice. They're all old and they're aged. And I'm going to use these guys, the little guys, for the switch. 5-way switch. I just got a cheap harness. I don't know where I put it out. I do have it. Wiring harness. I got this from my boy over there. Made in Korea. Like the guitar family. They make the best bootleg parts. Actually had a Fender Gold, a real Fender Gold. Where is it? Here's a gold one right here. I got one on hand, right? But I didn't have two. So I just ordered one. It was like $2, something like that. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. This I got at Home Depot, man. 33 cents online. Number 4 brass oval head wood screws, man. That says perfect. You know what I'm saying? Perfect for the Mary Kay thing. And this, likewise, these were both $1.18 a package. So we're coming out to like, you know, $2.50 for both of them. Brass. This is for we're going to anchor that bridge, you know what I mean? The trim bridge with that. Zoom in on this, eh? Take off, eh? Check this out. $20. Look at that, man. I told my man, this hoser, I said, hey, I want the number 21101, eh? And the knob said, he's like, I ain't got that many ones, eh? I can do something else. So I did 21103. You know why? Because 21102 is the Springsteen's guitar. And he also had a little asterisk, a little dash, man. Another $20. Somewhere else north from my boy over there. Does a great job. He's a good friend of mine now. Good man over there in British Columbia. It's another good friend of mine from China. I bought a whole bunch of these pickups. He makes them himself. He's not like a factory. But they are the best Strat pickups, bar none for me. And I'll tell you why. First of all, they look the part. They're great. And they're ceramic. I love ceramic Strat pickups, man. And the third part is this guy don't skimp. You get a lot of these cheap Chinese. I'm all glued up because that magnet's so strong. And the wires are crap. But this guy uses like real good stock wires. Look how thick that copper is coming out of them leads, man. He's like wiring like a house, man. That's like really good wire he uses. I always use his pickups. He was actually out of stock, you know what I mean? He actually said, I'm real busy, I'm on vacation. He came home, and these are the first ones he did for me. He wound them and everything. This guy is great, man. It cost me like $10. This is out of a parts drawer, these two items. And we're going to go all white plastics on this. I didn't get the pick guard. It's going to be all parts pick guard 50s, just like I had that last one I did over there. You know, but I'm going to go white plastic on it because it's Mary Kay. This is from my boy over here. Kaye. These guys are pretty much the one contracted, you know what I mean, by WD Music or whoever owns Goto, whatever it's called. So these are essentially like, you know, 15, 16 Gotos. They got the bushings on there. I think I paid shipping. It might have came out to like $18 for these. But that's a lot better than, you know what I mean, getting the same WD Music ones made in Indonesia, you know what I mean, that are garbage. That say Clusa on it, that costs like $80, you know what I'm saying? Where it is, Bond, man. And this, I got these two boats for like $1, man. It was like $1.09. Oh, I can't open that. I wasn't prepared. I thought I was prepared for this stupid video, man. Look at that. I can't even do it. Hang on, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna have to rip this fucking bag. Well, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother. There's two there. One of them's wrapped in like a piece of like tissue paper, and one of them's like holding it together. I'm gonna use the one that's wrapped in tissue paper and take tissue paper and wrap this one up and sell it for $2.09. So that's a skivvy on the livy, man. So let's put this guy together. So I guess the first thing we're gonna do is sand down our body over here, right? We're gonna get that guy smooth and nice and do the acrylic. So I'll come back to you after we got this guy in process and this guy in process, because that's the two things. I got a whole bunch of Conto body decals and fender decals from this guy that made the last decal for old Bess here, right? And he sent me a whole bunch of cool decals, and I kind of like that like non-metallic where you take that little where's I have that gold crayon. I wouldn't lose gold crayon because my whole process is fucked. But anyway, man, I have a gold crayon somewhere, you know what I mean, and it really looks cool. So that's why I'm gonna do it, man. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned, and let's check this out. Peace, everybody. It's time to get this guy painted up. We got a reliable Fender paint stick. I sanded it down. I didn't do, too crazy, you know what I mean, a job, because it was sort of like barrel wood, and it's like, you know what I mean, it's very light wood, so I mean, there's a lot of pores on there. I was thinking of putting some filler on there, but then I thought against it, because that's gonna, you know what I mean, make it too heavy. So basically, I'm just gonna go over with the acrylics right now, and all those little pores will get filled in. I sanded it pretty good up to 400, and then I put some naphtha on it, brought up the grain a little bit, sanded it again to 400, and now I'm going to, I have a little bit of, water in this bowl here, and I got this from our friends at Walmart. Yes, our friends at Walmart. It is matte acrylic paint, antique white. Yes, it's antique and it's white, and I got a little popsicle stick, and I'm going to eat a popsicle after I'm done with it. I'm going to stir it up there, you know what I mean, dilute it a little bit, apply it with this, and then wait for it to dry, bring it outside, and cover it with lacquer. So I'm going to put it on a pause right now, and I'll show you when we're all coated up, when we're all acrylic colored.
What?
So there we go. We got it colored. I mean, you can't really see it that great, but it's kind of all pinked out, man. I had to add a little bit of red to that white there because it was looking like straight Lucky Charms milk. So, I mean, that's not cool, Lieutenant. So we had to, get a little bit, I maybe went overboard on the red, but I think the overall result wasn't that bad. Although, this paint on this barrel wood here, this cheap Chinese wood, is just like coming up like crazy. I'm going to have to take some steel wool to it. You know what I mean? It's a little messy, and there's some like hairs and stuff. I don't know what the hell that happened there. But before we go outside for the lacquer job, I'm going to have to clean that up and smooth it out a little bit. But for the most part, we're getting closer to rocking and rolling. Rolling and rocking. So we'll see you next time when we're outside doing the lacquers. Outside now in the gentle breeze. Nice late summer's day. Pretty much dried. We touched it up. Gave it a little tiny bit of sanding. I always thought for a long time you couldn't really sand acrylic paints, but to find out by way of trial and error, that's bullshit. You can pretty much sand it. You know what I mean? So I sanded it up to about 150, and found this in my archive down the cellar. Spray lacquer, you know what I mean? I don't know exactly what kind of lacquer it is, but it's spray lacquer, so I'm going to put you on a pause and give it a shot. But you know how it goes. One coat in, and I'm already liking what I see. You know what I mean? I'm already liking that sort of lacquer drop. So it's definitely like right on lacquer. We're just going to, go right on pretty much spray up that whole can on this piece. I'm trying to hide all that barrel wood. So I'll flip back at you in a little bit. Peace. So we got about half a can on now in slow even coats. So we're gonna wait for it to dry. A nice 20 minutes, bring it downstairs. Or maybe just come out here on the line and give it a nice quick like wet sand. And then continue to spray our little hearts out. So I'll put you back on that pause. Pause be with you. So we're now like 75% done with that can there. And you know, we got like a rich peach color. It's kind of like the same color as that other one I got downstairs that I showed you earlier, the Telecaster. But yeah, it's definitely, yeah, I might have overdone that red, even though it's just a slight little drop into that Lucky Charms milk. So I'm saying how red it got once the lacquer got added. Well, I'm gonna finish up that can, let it set. It's almost sunset now. Mess around for a little while out here, so it's got a nice little sheen going to it, sort of a luster, half-ass. So that'll be good once that can is done. We'll see you downstairs. A little bit of wax on it. It's the next day. Sanded it, wet sanded it. You know, the lacquer brought out like the red, in like an orange way. In places there were like weird blotches there, on the back here. It's kind of got like the finished appearance, sort of like ash. You know, ash has that, ridiculous wood grain. But, I'll bet you another can of lacquer would totally bring this into like professional, you know what I'm saying? But I want to keep it light, you know what I mean? I don't want to add any more weight to this wood that I don't have to. So I just, like I said, I waxed it. And I'm going to keep it natural for now. I mean, there's a nice wood grain on there. I mean, 10-footer, it's going to be a great guitar. So let's get working on that neck. This is pretty much done in my opinion. So we got the neck over here. Take a little walk. I've already done a little tiny bit of work on it. I put a little tiny bit of filler in that little gash that was there. And I did a nice round over here because, you cut your finger right off with that. Leveled the frets. Cleaned it off, got all that metal shavings off. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the walnut plug for the truss rod cover on there with acrylic paint. And when that's dry, I'm going to paint the front with true oil. I'm going to try to my best not to get it on the sides and everything, because I'm going to do the sides afterwards on the hook. I just want to, do the front real carefully. So there we go. I'll come back at you once I have this guy up on the hook, or in some form in the paint, the true Earling process. Peace. Alright folks, so here we are. We're about to true Earl it up. I got the little nub painted on there. I went a little darker just to match the rosewood skunk on the back. Now we're just going to focus on the front of it now. I have a little paint ghost made up for the true Earl. We're not going to go too heavy with the oil. We're going to get a little bit on that nut there just to sort of age it up a little bit. And we're just doing the front right now. And then we're going to hang it up on this wall hook back here. Take all those little saws off. And, we'll do the back side of it. But we'll want to do the front first. And then we're going to go back and do the headstock again, a couple times. Sort of get it nice and smooth. So we can put on those decals. So let's put you on a pause right now, do the front, and show you how it's done, son. So we got round one of the Earl on there. We're going to let this dry about an hour, 2 hours. And come back, put another one on, second one, maybe a third one. Secret about the true Earl, very thin coats, man. And especially when you're doing a fretboard, you don't want to get in between each one of those frets. You don't want any little, holidays, no sort of open space. And if you see anything clumped or anything, wipe it off. That's the whole thing about true oil. People don't get it. You have to go on real thin. And, I always do the end here when I'm, laying down like this. That way you don't have to worry about it when it's standing up on the stick. So I'm going to put you on the, to stop right now. We'll come back when we're on the stick. And we have all the Earling done when it's all Earled out. So there we go, man. We got about 3 coats on the back. And about 4 coats on the front. And once this is dry, I'm going to do another 2 or 3 coats on the, the headstock. And we're going to let it set for, a couple days, 3-4 days. And we're going to do the final wet sanding, put some wax on it. So that's pretty much a done deal after that. Now we've gone through a couple different paint ghosts. You know, we keep all your stuff when you're doing true oil projects aside. Don't just throw it in the regular trash. And when you're done the project, you want to douse it with water. You know what I mean? In a wet, soppy state, put it in like a garbage bag and dispose of it as soon as humanly possible. You don't want that sitting around. It says it can spontaneously ignite. Always err on the side of caution, man. Even if it sounds crazy, you know what I mean? That little paint ghost is going to make you into a ghost, bruh. Beware, beware. Alright, ladies and germaphobes. So it's been a couple of days, man. A nice good week. On the third day, I sort of went over the back of the neck with a little triple zero steel wool, followed by some quadruple zero finish in steel wool. And like the fourth day, we went compound crazy on the headstock and the back of the neck. You know, we first did some rubbing compound, got all the major imperfections out of there, and then polishing compound. We want to keep all the compounds away from the fretboard, because that garbage will get in, these little crevices, the corner of the frets, and that's a real bitch to get it out of there, especially the polishing compound, that white compound. But words fail me, my friends. Words fail me. It looks great. So this is done. You know what I mean? And all we gotta do is, put the decal on, and so what else do we gotta do? You know what I mean? Where are we at now? We're at the home stretch. Let's get those electronics done. Electronics, man. So like I said, I got myself a 50s all parts, reissue pick guard. I get it from it's like the Arkansas Music Works or something like that on eBay. It's the cheapest one. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't even know them, but I give them a lot of business. I sponsor them with all of my donations. So I got my stagger pickups and my little trinkets I showed you earlier. I was thinking of maybe giving these mom and pop screws, maybe a little bit of polish, because they lost their luster like 50 years ago. Maybe not. They actually look kind of good that way. So don't be afraid of wiring your own, electronics, especially Stratocasters. I mean, there's a million charts out there, and any fool with a $3 soldering iron can do it. But I'm not going to do it, because I'm, just going to take the easy way out, man. I had no pots, and I had, no switch. So instead of ordering everything and doing it myself, I was like, hey, look at this, $2.68 on AliExpress, 5-way switch. Should be a 3-way, but fuck it, you know what I mean? You're not gonna do 3 ways. 3 ways is good for, after the show. So got these cheap little pots, which I love. For these pots especially, where you're gonna have to break off that little, see that little nub there? It's for like see that little nub? Just take a little needle nose and get rid of that, so it sits flush. No surprises here, folks. It's just regular. That's a really nice knockoff of a switchcraft there, though. Look at that. That's a nice tight solder job that they did. Not too bad. It's alright. It's alright. Alright. So, there it is, people. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put this little electronics together, and the next video we're going to have is going to be the home stretch. We're just going to, like the last strat we did, just, keep on, put you on pause till the damn thing is done and ready. So let's get these electronics done. Peace. Home free, home alone. Alright, man, we're wired, bruh. We're wired. I actually had the balls to plug this thing into my amplifier. I gave it a little sound test. Works. Caps work. Switch works. Nice muted brass. Looks beautiful. Switch works. Works. So let's get a running video of the final pass here. I made this little trim. I made it myself out of like parts store stuff. So I bought a little, a couple components. But the thing only weighs 4 ounces. Regular trim, big block, weighs like, 13 ounces, 12.5 ounces, something like that. So that's a third of it. That's great. And it's got the fender saddles on there. You know what I mean? Muted gold. Looks like a little bit worn off. It looks just fantastic. So I actually even have a little, found this in the parts drawer here, and it screws in and fits. Whammy bar. So I've been touting this body as a second coming, and it's great. I do love it. You know what I mean? And I've pretty much, kept it on the hook here, brought it out in the sun, cured it. Likewise with the neck, which about 3 or 4 days ago I put that water slide on there. You know, nothing, you know what I mean? Nothing crazy. Everything worked out good on that. And I've kept it on the stick till this very moment, you know, when I'm about to put everything together. So let's do that right now. Let's, we got to put this claw in there. Basically, I love this. Everything's drilled luckily here and there. We got a little hole. But you see here, claw hole is not drilled. So let's drill that in there. Let's get it all clawed up. And I'll put you on pause. And we're going to take you up through the end of the assembly of this guitar, my friends. Alright, we clawed it up, we eyed it out. It's good. It's going to work out, folks. So now let's put the neck on, and before we put the neck on, we're going to want to put the tuners on, because, you know, easier said than done kind of a thing. And I'm pretty sure these tuners are going to swim around in those 10mm holes. Oh, come on, man. You're never prepared. So I'm just going to have to tape them, you know what I mean, round about the edges with some masking tape, and screw them in there, and I'll put you on pause and come right back. Well, look at that. Looks great. Those bushings were perfect. Right on. Tuners are great. I was messing around with them. They're very, very, very high quality tuners. So now let's put the guitar together, man. You know what I'm saying? There's like a glove in there. And I got this puppy here with this, so we're gonna just put it here in the clamp, drill it down. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll put you on a pause. I'll be right back at you when we're connected. Got the connectivity. And we're doing it like so, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing it like so. Here we are in the workshop. We got her all connected. And so let's place the electronics here. See if we get a nice fit. We got a perfect fit. A gorgeous fit. There's no nub on the 57s. So this has been quick soldered. Let's desolder that. I'm going to use the same jack. Actually have the little piece here. I painted it with a tiny bit of this Testors paint, metallic Testors gold. So just a little bit of light on the subject. It's gold. So let's put her down, man. Let's screw it down. Let's solder it up and let's rock it and roll it, man. I'm going to put the electronics in there and I'll flip you right back. Soldered and screwed like a good boy. I didn't put this guy down here because I wanted to sort of get the relative position with this guy, and I'm gonna put him down right now. So let's put a pause on and I'll come back to when we're all trimmed up. And I might as well install the springs on the back too, and just, you know, little things left. So there we go, man. It's like pretty much an assembled guitar, right? We got the springs in there. I mean, the only parts we have left really: trim cover, strap buttons, string tree, and that's it really. Yeah, some knobs. And that's all idiot stuff. Any ape can do that. So we're going to string it up. Tomorrow morning, I'll go to bed right now. A bit late. I got these strings here. A bunch of these sets from the Orient a couple years ago. It's like a strange, very light gauge. It's like 41 through like 9 with a wound G. I've been using them on like 50s models. Kind of like that wound G. So tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up, string it up, set the action, set the intonation. Put the rest of these silly little parts on, and then we'll do a little glam shots video for you, you know, and we'll bid adieu after our little guest star. So peace be with you, and I'll see you at our little glam shots. It's going to be a beautiful baby. Birth has happened. And there we are, folks. People within the steeple. Done. Gorgeous. No hitches. Surprise and surprise. According to Hoyle achieved. Folks, a rare occurrence when something like that occurs. You know what I mean? When nothing of that occurs. When it's all just smooth sailing. Smooth sailing, no bailing. At 4.5 pounds. Yes, folks, I was obsessed with weight, trying to make it the ultimate lightweight guitar. This guitar delivers the goods, folks. It is everything I wanted it to be. You know, it seems like some of these videos say, wow, that guy built a guitar in 47 minutes and 32 seconds. In reality, man, lots of time goes into these, weeks and weeks. You know what I'm saying? Weeks and painful weeks of waiting. Waiting for packages, waiting for paint to dry. Just waiting, you know, glue to set. Everything's got to be a wait with a guitar, man. She's a lady, though. 57. Mary Kaye. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous guitar. And we're done. So it's a Strat. You know what I'm saying? So imagine that. The champion of the Strat is going to make this guitar sound quite fat. And here we go. On with the show. Adieu to you. And y'all know. Something like that. Peace. We're back here, the king of the Stratocaster, the king of Asbury Park, the greatest, Mr. Johnny Rock.
gentlemen, the greatest, the master, the Strat, Johnny Rock.
That's
so
light as hell.